Gosh, there. Now I'm recording. Unmute yourself. If you can't unmute yourself, chat so I can unmute you if you don't know how to do it. So this is us up here as a coach. If you don't know what your strong leg and your weak leg is as a coach, you need to spend some time in your back office. Go under My Business, go in graphical genealogy, and you're going to see where your strong side and your weak side are. These can be interchangeable in case you didn't know that. But generally, when you are building your business, your strong side is going to be the same side that your coach is placing coaches on under you. I don't know if any of you guys were confused when that first started, but I remember the first day I logged into my back office and my coach had placed a coach under me on her leg. And I got really excited thinking I suddenly had a coach, and then my dreams were crushed because I realized I didn't have a coach because this wasn't somebody that I personally sponsored, but it was building my strong leg. So that's what happens is up here, your coach is placing, and there's people being placed under you, and they go down this way, and there's coaches, and they contribute to your volume, as you can see. Now, this doesn't really come into effect for you until you are an Emerald coach. However, this is one reason why it's very, very important to be an active coach, because all this volume that's building that your coach is putting under you, and every week those coaches are adding to their own team, or they are ordering and they're producing personal volume, that gets banked for you. If you become inactive as a coach, all that bank goes away. I have a coach right now that goes inactive every single week. She stays inactive. I think she got her last Shakeology 8 months ago. She loses over 2,000 banked volume every single week because she's one of my top coaches. She was one of the first ones I ever signed. She doesn't stay active. If she literally just signed one other coach, she would cycle bonus every single week on that alone. So that's why it's important to stay active. Even if you're not quite sure where you're going with this business, even if it takes you a long time to add coaches, you need to stay active. You're accumulating volume. And as your business takes off and starts to grow, you get to cycle as many times as you can get that volume going. Your strong leg, you need 200 volume on to cycle. Your weak leg, you need 100. Yeah, your banked volume is just the volume that's under your team that continues to carry over. So let me show you. I'm going to show you guys my back office right now. Just let me share screen. Hold on. How easy was that? Not very easy. Okay. Oh, of course. Let me sign in. Just a second, and I'll get back to this. Okay, so here's my back office right now. And right here is my volume. Let me just zoom in on this. So here's my volume. So right now, my left leg is at 2,301 volume. My right leg is at 398. Of course, ideally, your volume is going to match. My left leg is clearly my strong leg. My right leg is my weak leg. So as of right now, let's just say my right leg gets up to 400. I would cycle 4 times this week for my paycheck because I would have 100 4 times on my weak leg. So what happens is you do 200 on your strong leg, so it takes 800 volume on my strong leg to match that 400 on my weak leg for me to cycle 4 times. But if we subtract 800 out of 2,300, I still have 1,500 in volume left that doesn't cycle. So that just goes into my bank. And I will show you what that looks like. You can bank volume up to a certain amount. I honestly can't remember at the top of my head right now what that is. But at a certain point, it does reset. This isn't going to show you very well where my banked volume is. I can't remember where to show you where my banked volume is. But essentially, that 1,500 carries over and let's say next week I suddenly had 2,000 on my strong leg, and I only had 1,000 on, or 2,000 on my weak leg and 1,000 on my strong leg. Well, it will just keep adding in my banked volume that I didn't use from the week before until I used up all my volume. So as you can see, you could bank multiple times. Let me go back to where I was going to show you guys later. I'm going to screen share again later for you guys once this makes sense. But let me just stop this really quick. Does that make sense? Does anybody have any questions on that? Okay, and I'm trying to make this as simple as I can. I know sometimes this volume talk gets a little crazy, so that's why I have the graphics for you. But okay, so here's you up here, and you decide you're going to sign 2 coaches, right? So you put one over here on your strong leg and one over here on your weak leg. Now, you're going to hear a lot of differing opinions on this. My suggestion and my recommendation is this first coach on your weak leg is your spouse, is your sister, is your parent, is your very best friend, somebody that you really trust and you want to help grow this business in. The reason why is because once you become a 2-star and you can open a second business center, this is where I suggest that business goes. Maximizing your weak leg is also what increases your volume. And what I'm going to talk to you about is placing coaches under this person over here. And you're really going to be building that person's business. So that really, in my recommendation, if it's not your spouse, then it's somebody that you really trust or is helping you build your business, because you're going to be helping them a lot increase their cycles. Now, if your spouse is this person over here, that's okay. It's no big deal. Your life is not over. You did not mess up your whole business. You can still grow. I would recommend at some point in time getting somebody on your weak leg, though, that you really want to help them grow your business. So that's just my opinion. If you already have your spouse somewhere, don't worry about it. You do have the option. I'm not even going to say this option about coaches. I'm not even going to put that in your head. Let's not talk about that. So you have your 2 coaches. You're now emerald, right? You have 2 active coaches. You're emerald. You're cycling. I want you to keep building your business. I want you to keep pushing to get to diamond. Diamond is where the magic kind of happens in your business. It's where you start to see a big increase in volume. For me, that was where I started to see 4-figure income every single month, which I know doesn't sound like a lot, but when you were going from $100 a week maybe to now I'm making over $1,000 a month when I went diamond, that was very beneficial for me.
Sorry.
Should be, Jack. You should be. Just kidding. Okay. So do you guys have any questions as far as that, like diamond, getting to diamond, emerald, how you do that? And diamond does mean that you have 4 active coaches on each leg. You are probably going to have more coaches than that by the time you go diamond, because you have 4 coaches plus 1 on each leg is also emerald. So for me, my emerald is my spouse. He is an emerald for me. And then I have some of my other coaches on this leg that are emeralds. And I have more than just 1 emerald on my weak leg also. But now, here's where maximizing your income comes in. You guys, I did not know this until 6 months ago, and I left 2.5 years of income on the table. Okay. Adding your husband as the best time to do it is their strategy. So for me, it was always financial. I never added my husband until I had another coach on the other side. So my first placement went on my strong leg because I wanted to make sure that I had a coach there before I added my husband, because then we were paying 2 coaches' fees, and we all drink Shakeology, so it's not a big deal as far as budget wise to add that in. But remember, for you to be Emerald, these coaches have to be active. So if you can't keep your husband active, it's probably not the best time to add him. You do want to make sure financially that that's working for you. Does that make sense? Okay. So otherwise, I mean, I think when you're ready to go, when you're ready to cycle bonus, add them in there. If you're ready now, or if your husband already drinks Shakeology, you might as well sign them up, or whoever that may be. Like if that's your mom or your best friend and they're drinking Shakeology, I would sign them up. You are losing out that commission, so you can debate either way, because until you start cycle bonusing, you're still losing that commission. The volume doesn't matter as much, but you're banking it as long as you stay active. So there's not really a best time, but definitely when you can financially handle it, and especially if you have another coach, you guys, like, don't sit for weeks and not get to Emerald. I had a coach that had her friend sign up, and she waited 3 months before she signed up her husband because she just didn't get around to it. So she left 3 months worth of potentially cycle bonusing on the table. So it's money you're leaving. I mean, Beachbody is not going to pursue you and say, hey, if you sign up one more coach, you can cycle bonus and get a minimum of $14 from us when you do that. I mean, Beachbody's not going to do that for you. Like, you have to be the owner of your business and know that you're leaving money on the table. So now I'm a diamond and I have my coaches and I'm continuing to add, but this weak leg over here just isn't cycling how I want to. Now we're going to do something called graphical genealogy. And maybe you guys have heard this. Maybe you have heard that you should never, ever put a coach on your inside leg, that you should never put a coach on that inside weak leg. That's what I was told. And so for 2.5 years, instead of doing my own research, I left the money on the table. What this means for an inside leg is, so you have these legs. You have your strong leg and your weak leg. Each leg has an inside and an outside. When you are placing just on your strong leg and your weak leg, you're placing them on the outside. They're all in a line down together. And that's what you generally do. I kept placing on my weak leg because I needed to build that volume, but my husband was only cycling once a month. But I kept having coaches over here, and his strong leg kept growing, and his weak leg was never doing anything. Now, the reason why was because I don't continue to add a ton of coaches under him. I'm building my own business. He's an Emerald. That's where I'm keeping him at until I can really focus on that. So now what I've done is I have started to place my coaches on his inside leg. So what this looks like, he's an Emerald. He has a coach, right? And this is his strong leg, because this is where I place. You see that line that keeps going down? I continue to place coaches out here under him as I'm placing them on my weak leg. But that's his strong leg, because his coach, which is me, is placing coaches there. So now I have started to place on his inside leg, his weak leg. So he has a coach here. She places out there and in there. Well, guess what? Now I'm placing coaches here too. This is still my coach, but it's under him. It's my personally sponsored coach, but it increases his cycle bonus because this coach is now on his weak leg. It's still my coach. This coach is signed up under me. I have just placed them on his inside weak leg. What this also does is this benefits his coach. So this coach that's right here is one of my coaches that I signed. My husband does not work his business. I work his business. This is a coach that I invited to join my team, and I said, if you are okay with it, I would like to place you under my husband. It's a goal I'm working on. She said yes. So I placed her there. She's listed as his coach. I still work with her. She's still my coach, just not in the personally sponsored term of the world. But now what I have done to this coach is I've gone to her and said, I'm placing under you. So now if you continue to add coaches, you are benefiting too. And this is where it's not dangerous to place under the weak leg of this business center, because this coach, I'm not sticking out there. Now, if I did nothing else for this coach, she would have to create all of her volume on her own, which is what you can absolutely do. I want you to know this is Lindsay Matway right here. This is a $1 million club earner, a 15 superstar diamond 4 times over. She earns millions upon millions of dollars. She has no help from any upline coach. She sits there and has to generate all of her own volume. So don't tell me you can't do it, because this person can. However, I'm not leaving this coach out there. I'm continuing to build. I'm building my husband, and I'm just placing my personally sponsored coaches there to increase his volume. But they're still my coaches. So what I'm going to show you now is what this actually looks like in your back office. So let me share this screen again, because I know this looks a little confusing. So this is my placement, right? This is my husband right here that I'm circling. He is my personally sponsored coach, as you can see. This is his strong leg. These are my PS coaches, as you can see, labeled with PS, going down that leg for him. This is my weak leg, his strong leg. Now, here is one of his coaches. And this is my coach right here in gray right now. She's inactive. She's losing her banked volume, but I placed her right there. Now, as I'm continuing to grow this leg for him, you can see where these spots are. These 4 spots, the 2 outside positions on each end are what are called the outside legs. This, for these coaches, are their strong leg, because my husband would be continuing to add coaches down that leg. These 2 on the middle are considered your inside leg. Now, when I place a coach there, so if I put a coach here, it highlights in red. Let me go back down to it since I just changed my placement. It highlights in red, and that is what shows me where my next coach is going. This coach is going on my husband's weak leg, but on an inside of a weak leg. So this just creates more volume for him to bank on, because all these coaches over here that I'm placing on, that's his strong leg. So now, as those coaches are continuing to increase and bank volume, this weak leg has to catch up. So I'm placing a coach there. It's still my personally sponsored coach, but remember, any coach under you creates volume opportunity for you. So this is why, as your coach is continuing to place coaches on your leg under you, they all create volume for you. All their volume flushes up to your business center. So now this coach that I would place right here would create more volume for my husband's weak leg to cycle. So I will tell you guys, I'm going to stop this share really quick. When I started to do that, my income for him increased times 4 in 1 week. I placed 2 coaches on him on a weak leg. My income went up times 4 for him. That's a huge amount. Can you imagine if I had been doing that for 2.5 years? So that's where you need to be very smart and look at your business. It doesn't always have to be on that outside traditional leg. If you have a spouse here, start building this leg too. They're still your personally sponsored coach. They're still on whatever leg you place them on. So my weak leg is my right leg where my husband is. That coach, when I place them, is still a right leg coach. They're just placed under his weak leg, and they're increasing that volume. Okay, I know that's a lot. I know, I can see it. Mind is blown right now. Let me unmake myself so big. Okay, so questions. Do you guys have any questions on that? Don't all talk at once. And you can say, I did not understand a word you just said.
So am I understanding that we should intentionally build up our weak leg first?
It depends on what your goal is. So your end goal should be that your legs volume match. Because no matter what, it takes 100 of your strong leg, 200 of your weak leg. If your volume matches, you're going to be maximizing the most. Because what happens is if your strong leg, let's say, was at 15,000 and your weak leg was at 14,000, you keep building it and it gets up to 16,000, Beachbody switches that to your strong leg. So now it's 100 and 200. So as much as you can make that volume equal, so you're always just cycle bonusing at your max value, that's the best thing. You don't want to let that strong leg get too out of control and let that volume go too much. Like you can see right now, I'm at 2,300 on my strong leg and 400 at my weak leg. That's a huge discrepancy. That's a lot of banked volume I'm missing out on. So if you're building to diamond, you want to be even, right? Because you need 4 coaches here, 4 coaches here, 1 emerald on each side. It's very hard, I think, as you're building to diamond to pick those rock star coaches. In fact, my strong leg has 4 rock star coaches on it that all potentially could go diamond, and I'm not going to be a 4-star off that. So I just say try to build as evenly as you can. But once you are a good, solid diamond, you need to be building your weak leg. You always need to watch your business. If you have a coach that's suddenly dropping off, if you lose a coach or they go inactive, you need to make sure you're building back. You will hear some coaches say go 1 strong, 2 weak, 1 strong, 2 weak. I say just be very aware of your business and know where you need to build, because I have easily placed 4 coaches on my weak leg before I needed to go back to my strong leg.
Okay. And so how do you, I guess, determine which leg to put like your discount coaches on?
Again, it depends on what you're trying to do. And it depends on where your business needs to grow at. So,
okay, I get it. Like wherever you would need maybe less volume, put your discount coach on, because they're not going to produce as much as someone who is actually going to work the business.
Depending, but you also never know when your discount coach is going to be a builder. And Sarah does recommend staggering. She does 1 strong, 2 weak, 1 under her husband. I actually don't build under my husband unless I've hit a certain number of Success Club points, and then I will build under him, because graphical genealogy actually allows me to not build under him, or not put coaches on him. Your discount coaches, though, can be your ones that keep your strong leg very, very solid. So I have 5 solid discount coaches on my strong leg that I never have to worry about losing rank on that side because of them. So yeah, I would just look at your business. I would look to see where you need the coaches, where you need the volume, and go from there.
Okay.
And yeah, and Sarah said she never puts anything under Ray until she hits 12 for herself.
12 success points.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And you guys, this is a very personal thing about how you build your business. There is never a right or a wrong way, because truthfully, you can build your business and increase your income out of anything that you've done. So that's why I say, if your husband's on your strong leg, you're not going to die. Your business is not going to flounder. Like, you have the ability to build and increase this business. You just have to be the leader that's doing it.
So is it a problem if I have my sister right now as the only person under me, and then if I add my husband, is that too
much? Like, are you trying to control both businesses?
Well, no, I mean, I'm just saying, like, is that not a good idea?
No, that's a fantastic idea. Those 2 people that are the first people under you are going to benefit the most from your business growing. Those are like sacred spots, in my opinion.
Oh, okay. Okay, that makes sense.
Either one of them on top of those legs, I mean, they're, as your business is growing and growing. So you guys, like, I have over 100 downline coaches right now. So those 2 people that are under me are benefiting from 99 downline coaches.
Okay.
And that's even if they're just discount coaches, right? Like, as long as they're keeping active.
I mean, they don't do anything until they're emerald. They don't get any type of cycle bonus until they're emerald. But yeah, I mean, their volume is banking every single month. If they suddenly decide to sign a coach, they would cycle very easily.
Got it. Okay.
And when you put those coaches on your husband's leg, then you ultimately benefit from that, right?
Yeah, because that volume just drifts up to me. That builds my weak leg still. No matter where they're placed on that leg, that volume is going to my weak leg. It just benefits his placement for cycle bonusing because now he has that extra volume on his weak leg. He's not just getting the strong leg help from me.
But any of those coaches that you place there, when they start to build their own or get coaches under them, does that still benefit you?
Yeah, because they're still growing my weak leg and they're just increasing to grow his weak leg.
Okay.
They're still my coach. So let's say if I was going for Premier or Elite, you need 2 coaches that become diamonds in a year. No matter where they're placed in that line, as long as they are my personally sponsored coach and they hit emerald, I get a matching bonus from them, or they hit diamond, they are my diamond that has rank advanced, I get a matching bonus from them. No matter where they're placed, as long as they are your personally sponsored coach, that is directly benefiting your business. Or if they're under your husband,
they worked through you to become a coach.
Right? They
right?
signed up under your coach ID.
Okay, but then you can put them wherever. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
I can click wherever I want on that graphical genealogy. I could build them under any coach I wanted.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Is there a leg building book for dummies? Tara, there is a lot in your back office, a lot of training that you can look up. Like seriously, YouTube it. You can find a lot too. You'll have this recording. You can watch it again and again and again. You definitely want to understand your business though, for sure. Matching bonus. Yeah. And maybe you guys don't know this. When you become diamond, you get a matching bonus from what your emeralds or your diamonds get for their cycle bonus. So let's say my emerald cycles 1 time. I make $1.40 off that. I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but as your business continues to grow and they cycle more and more, so the more that emerald or that diamond cycles, the more you continue to make. So when my husband suddenly went from cycling 1 time to 5 times, that was 5 times the matching bonus I got too. And yeah, that $1.40 does add up. Believe me, when you watch every penny, it does. Do you guys
I have one more quick question.
Nope, your question usage is up.
I know, right?
I'm just
so
kidding.
if you place someone under a different coach, like somewhere on that tree,
Mm-hmm.
then anyone you place below that person, they would benefit from that, right?
Correct, because anybody that's below you, that volume just keeps trickling up to you. It gets pushed up to you.
Okay. It's so confusing.
I just expect you all to watch this lovely recording that I did for you 17 more times. Any other questions related to this or any other questions you guys have? We have about 8 minutes. It can be about anything. I'm a wealth of knowledge. How do we watch the recording? I will, after we finish the Zoom, it will convert. I'll upload it to YouTube. I give it to Sarah. I post it on our team page. And then your fellow leaders can give it to you. Sarah said, building Ray's team and strategically placing coaches is how I nearly doubled my income last year. Mm-hmm. Like, this is no joke, you guys. This is the money maker, is knowing how to place coaches. And so my lovely coach Megan over here that you saw on that graphical genealogy, as she gets to Emerald, because I know she's going to, in fact, next month for our Team Cup, she's going to, as I am placing coaches there, she's just going to continue to increase that volume too. So it benefits a lot of people in your downline. Follow-ups that are kind of fizzling. That's your question, Rhiannon? What are you, like they're just not responding? Okay, so my answer is always going to be talk to more people. You can't bank on a follow-up that you think someone tells you on January 2nd they are interested and they want to join your challenge group, and you're sitting at January 30th and you've messaged them 3 times. You guys, by January 10th, you should have moved on to someone else. Yes, you're still keeping contact, but you're not banking on that person. I think sometimes this is what we do. We get very, very excited. We think, yes, I have 5 people that are interested. I am hitting Success Club. Yes. Like, write it down. I made it. And then on January 30th, we're going, I have 2 Success Club. What happened? Where did all these people go? We get too complacent. Do not count those chickens before they hatch. Talk to people every single day. Have a goal to invite 3 people every single day. It does not have to be 3 people to a challenge group. It can be 3 people to a free group that you should be running every month. 3 people to a challenge group, to a business opportunity, to try Shakeology with you, to do a 30-day club membership. No, not all of these things are going to pan out for you as far as Success Club or even income, but those are the things that come back to you. Consistency over time is what produces success. And yep, Sarah is right. Talk to more people, always make more friends, be social. Definitely go back and look at your January. How many people did you invite over the month? If your goal was to hit Success Club 10, you should have invited close to 200 people, if not more. I spent last June, I invited 450 people and I barely made Success Club 5. So some months are going to be harder than others. And that's why when we have these 5 people that say, yes, I'm going to join your challenge group, and then they don't, and then we wonder what happened, you just have to keep asking and inviting. And sometimes those 5 people are your first 10 Success Club points in February, but you can't bank on them until that order goes through. So just keep talking to people. Yep, people do come back. Any other questions? Sarah, stop giving me the finger. Quit your coughing too. Don't share your pneumonia germs with us.
Oh, I have a question. What is commission BP? What exactly does that mean? Last week, myself and my 2 coaches ordered, and so we had volume, but I didn't get paid on the commission. It just said commission BP. Does that mean it just went into my bank?
Because your coaches ordered?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you don't make commission on your coaches anymore. You just make the volume.
Got it. And that volume went into my bank.
Mm-hmm. Unless you cycle bonused.
Right. Okay.
Which if you have 2 coaches, are you an Emerald? You should be.
Yes.
Okay, then perfect. Yeah. So it's going towards your cycle.
Okay.
And the more your coaches order, like that's a bigger volume that you're getting too. So instead of just, maybe you only get 90 from a coach every month. Mm-hmm. If they order a program in a month or they upgraded their Beachbody on Demand, then yeah, it's just increased your volume opportunity with them that month.
Okay.
Sarah's still typing. She has 3 minutes and 18 seconds. Oh, here we go. One of the best pieces of advice I read from Darren Hardy was, if people misunderstood your message, it's your fault. Look back at your messages and stand in that person's shoes. Were you clear? Did you end in a question? Were you genuine? Absolutely. So I actually just had to message a prospect of mine that I word vomited all over her about the all access Beachbody on Demand. Like, this was someone interested in the 21-day fix challenge pack. She couldn't order it until this month. I had talked to her in December. In December, we didn't know about the Beachbody on demand access. So I sent her a message and said, hey, are you still interested in your 21-day fix? Do you want to go with it this month? She says yes. My next response to her was a word vomit about, well, there's this new package in case you wanted to know, and here's what it is, and blah, 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 blah. And she didn't respond to me for 2 days. So finally this morning I said, Leslie, I am so sorry. I completely vomited all over you information you weren't even asking for. I hope I didn't scare you away. I would still love to just talk to you about 21-day fix if that's what you're interested in. And then she responded back, yes, that's what I'm interested in. So don't be afraid to go apologize. What's the worst that's going to happen? They're not going to respond to you? Well, they weren't anyway. So you might as well go apologize if your message was totally blah out there. Yeah, no shame in apologizing. Takes a bigger person to do so. Any other questions, you guys? Don't be shy. You have a minute. Sorry for your pneumonia. You should be sorry. We're probably all getting it as we sit here too. As you cough into your microphone. So funny. See, look at that. Tara's already coughing. Good job, Sarah. All right, you guys. Well, thanks for taking your time to hop on this call. We really appreciate any time that you take time out of your schedule. Oh, I'm glad you found it helpful. Good. I will definitely get this recording to you. As you guys watch this, if you have questions, contact your coach, contact me. Just remember, I only work certain business hours, so I'll definitely get back to you. But don't be afraid to ask a question, but definitely go Google it too and go watch other information. And I will try to share, I'll try to find a really good placement call too for you that I found helpful. But have a good night, you guys. Thanks for hopping on. Go kill Success Club if you haven't yet. And we will talk to you later. Bye.
Night.